a small bit of admin, okay? When I was invited to reveal this card, I was unaware of the concept of what's it called? The magic. What's it called? The thing with I don't want to use the word reprints because that's a harsh word, isn't it? The mystical archive, okay? I was unaware of the concept of the mystical archive. So I may have thought that this was not a card in the mystical archive. However, it appears it is. Which means that you may have saw this card before. I have never seen this card before, so I didn't know that. So anyway. The card is not a card that I would particularly normally play. It belongs to the color blue. It is a mythic. It is an instant. And it is Blue Sun's Zenith. Target player draws X cards. Shuffle Blue Sun's Zenith into its owner's library. I should have recognised this as a reprint, because I know Green Sun's Zenith. But honestly, I didn't put two and two together. This is Giga Gandalf card. Giga Gandalf. It's Blue Sun Zenith. This is not legal in Standard, I believe. I mean, I wasn't told that, but I would assume it is not, because it is part of the Mystical Archive. I do not imagine it's part of the 7 that are not legal in Historic, so you will see this in Historic. Prepare your Gandalf pleases. The art is so nice. Chat, the day's finally come. I've been upgraded from rare to mythic, finally. Chat, this card is absolutely insane, okay, and it's gonna run amok all over the Historic format. It's because if you read it, right, it says target player draws X cards. So you can target yourself and you get to draw the cards. It's fucking sick. 4 mana draw 1? True. 4 mana draw 1. But what if you make X equals 2? Then you draw 2. It just scales up to infinity. So now I need to make a tweet about this card. However, I'm not really sure how to do that, considering maybe I should just tackle the problem head on, guys, and just admit, listen motherfuckers, I did not know that there was reprints in this set. I was unaware. I am just a gentle soul trying to stream a game, and then I got offered by my kind friends at Wizards of the Coast to reveal a card, and I accepted that invitation. And turns out I'm the only person in the world who's never seen this card before, and you all have. Like, I thought this card was going to be a standard card, so I thought that's got to be sick, right? Because there's no alternative to this, right? You've got a lot of draw spells in standard, but no scaling ones, huh? Okay. Introduction to Annihilation A colorless lesson. Exile target non-land permanent, its controller draws a card. Okay. Dude, where do these lessons go? They don't go in your sideboard, do they? They do? Oh, okay. Oh, that is a big change, right? That is kind of yikes. So the best of one and the best of three meta are going to be completely different then. Because every best of one deck will have 15 lessons, and best of three decks will have like 0 to X, right? And then that means that the main deck cards will be different too, by a lot. Already is different? Not by too much though, I don't think. Who gives a fuck about best of one? I mean, more people than care about best of three. The majority of Magic players. That's a good thing though, I think, because that means you can play. We can play best of one, right? If it's the reason I don't play any best of one is because it's just the same essentially. But if it's very different, then we can play best of three and best of one, which is cool. It's just that's easy for. Like Arena now has 4 formats. Best of one standard, best of three standard, best of one historic, and best of three mythic. Historic. Easy. We've doubled the number of formats available. Don't know about this one. Where do lessons go? Lessons go in your sideboard, and you can fetch them with cards that have learn. See if I can find an example. There's a white one, right? So Professor of Symbology. 2 mana, 2/1. When Professor of Symbology enters the battlefield, learn. And learn is you may reveal a lesson card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand, or discard a card and draw a card. So they're in your sideboard, right? So this is just a 2 mana, 2/1 draw a card, man. It's absolute filth. I don't know about this one, man. This one's kind of weird. It's so expensive, right? Yep, the white one's sick for mono white aggro, yeah. Introduction to Prophecy. Scry 2, draw a card. Kind of whatever, right? We've seen, but I mean, these cards are just free though. It's crazy, man. Alright, this Torrent Sculptor. We got a glimpse of this earlier. 4 mana, 2/2, ward 2. When it enters the battlefield, exile an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. Put a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to half that card's mana value rounded up. I mean, you can hardly even get this thing to be a 4/4, huh? Flamethrower Sonata. Discard a card, then draw a card. When you discard an instant or sorcery this way, Flamethrower Sonata deals damage equal to that card's mana value to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. So that is a 2 mana, like Narset trigger, huh? 4 mana Narset trigger. But it's discard first though, which is kind of yikes. But it is a way for red to actually kill Lovestruck Beast though. You discard your like Agadeems or your Symbiosis or your whatever, right? Well, not Agadeems, but the other ones. It's a Modo card? Yeah, but I mean, this blue one's shit, so this would just be a card in red decks by itself. Like, who cares about the other side? The other side is unplayable. This might just be a 2 mana red sorcery that you might just have in your deck, man. Just a Narset -1? Yeah, but guys, you have to realise that red cannot kill Lovestruck Beast. This is a card that can kill Lovestruck Beast, so for that reason it might see play. Probably not, don't get me wrong, but maybe. Don't discount this too early. Waterfall, because it fills a gap that literally has no other way to fill it. It's not as if you have an alternative 2 mana card that can deal 5. There literally does not exist such a card. Waterfall Aerialist. 4 mana, 3/1 flyer, ward 2, yep. Put 2 counters on target creature, vigilance, until end of turn, okay. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it and it gains haste until end of turn. Learn. Well, you don't have to target a creature with it, right? Which is even better. So you just cast this first, I guess. +1/+1, haste. Fetch a card. 2 mana. Not quite good enough, huh? Close though. For a common, by the way. 2 mana is worth though? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Because remember, you have to... This... You don't get to just add cards to decks, guys. You've got to cut a card too, right? So what are you cut? You're cutting a creature from your deck to play this. I don't know, man. It's borderline good. I mean, it is almost good, yeah. I don't think it's quite good enough though. Undervaluing the Learn, I think. I'm not, dude. There's a reason why we're talking about this card, and it's that the card is good. It's just that I cannot imagine a token deck being good that uses this, because it doesn't fit in with the actual gameplay of a token deck. You will make a token deck, you'll put this card in it, and then you will cut it. 100%. Because you would just rather have another way to make tokens. If you're playing a token deck that has some sort of token payoff, you just play a different... You play more token generators, man. There's not enough space in a Magic deck to get away with playing stuff like this. If you're playing a token deck, you need lands, you need token generators, you need token payoffs, you need removal spells. You've got no space in the deck for cards like this, even though you would love to play them.
At CROKEYZ,
these type of cards are just never in decks, man. If there is some OP as fuck token generators, then you can start to consider it, because... But this card is very good. I just don't think you'll be able to find a place for it in any reasonable and real deck. It's all Disneyland, right? Krenko plus Mystic Reflection. You see what the fuck I mean, man? Like, Jesus Christ. No, just play Krenko and, I don't know, some goblins or something, man. This one has the potential... I mean, this card is good, but I would be very surprised if there's a deck involving this card which is good. There's a lot of cards that applies to, man. Alright, these apprentices, huh? +1/+0 on creature. Put a land into your hand from the top 3 cards. Can't be blocked, and if it costs 5 or more, put a counter on it. Spirit creatures gain... This creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. That's kind of weird. I mean, this one's kind of gas, right? This lesson. It's just pretty insane for a free card. It's a good one to fetch. This one's 2 1/1 tokens. When this dies, gain 1 life. Pop quiz seems good to me, man. Instant speed, draw a card, fetch a lesson. It's this one though, in my opinion, it's absolute gas. This is just... It's the new Thraben Inspector, mate. Best card revealed so far, just this dumbass. Random uncommon.